Riff to the Rescue, a Wild West adventure, is a Barney episode that follows the great-great-grandparents of the Barney characters in an old western town under complete authoritarian rule where music is outlawed, and it is every bit as delightfully odd as it sounds. I hinted at this episode before, but it's one of my favorite underrated stories from the later seasons. After the condensed 11-minute assaults on the senses that comprised a sizable chunk of the 10th and 11th seasons, it's good to get back to one half-hour episode, especially one that has a duel in it. How do we end up out west? The episode starts with 3 of the kids searching for their baseball equipment and for more players on each of their teams. Barney spawns in to help, prompting the other dinosaurs to also show up just in time to be drafted into the game. Baby Bop is quick to assume captainship of one team, Foreshadowing, but Riff is hesitant and isn't sure that he can handle the responsibility, real. Trying to boost his confidence, Barney informs Riff that the situation reminds him of something that happened to Riff's great-great-grandfather, Riffle, a hero of the Wild West. I think it would be a little easier to default to the "this is just a frame story" line of thinking if it wasn't for the fact that Barney is quite literally 200 million years old, or, according to very early sources, timeless, and was definitely alive back then to witness it. The actual retelling of the story itself takes from the classic cartoon trope of all the characters' ancestors are just clones of the current character, so that just reinforces it further for me. The park is transformed for us viewers into the old western town of Riffle's day, and he rides in on his indistinguishable from the real thing horse, Nellie, and greets traveling banjo storyteller Barney, which is actually not the name of this Barney plush. Regular viewers of the show know that around this point in Barney history, the character portrayal of Barney had gotten kind of stiff and out of character, so it's actually kind of neat to see him in this unique role as kind of a wandering musical mentor in the Old West. It just kind of solidifies him as this ancient force of good, no matter what setting he finds himself in. Riffle the musician introduces himself to schoolmarm Taylor, informing her that he's in search of a piano to play. Taylor immediately nopes out and can hardly answer Riffle's questions out of fear of retribution from Bossy Bop. While her students love music, she explains that Bossy Bop has outlawed any form of singing with the exception of herself. This poster of Bossy Bop, by the way, was actually supposed to resemble the animated newspapers from Harry Potter, so that's something. Riffle, knowing the rule is unfair, if not insane, gathers the students to sing with him anyway. After square dancing in protest, Bossy Bop is seen riding into town to torment Sheriff BJ, who dared to sing under his breath while putting up more 1984-esque propaganda posters of her. Bossy Bop, unsurprisingly, cannot hardly sing herself, and upsets both BJ and the town's horses with the world's worst rendition of Home on the Range before peacing out again. Riffle continues the sheriff's string of misery by scaring him again due to appearing suddenly and immediately singing at him. BJ, in true Wild West fashion, appoints Riffle as replacement sheriff then and there before running away to spare himself from Bossy Bop's wrath. Schoolmarm Taylor and her students rush to Riffle's aid and inform him that he is actually the 3rd sheriff they've had in the span of 1 week, which really shines a light on the psychological torment Bossy Bop has inflicted on the town's local government. Everyone scatters upon learning she's in town, and BJ tells Riffle that it's his job to stop her now. He also does this double finger gun thing, which is kind of hilarious. It's not every day guns are implied in Barney and Friends. Riffle, much like his great-great-grandson, is struggling with the idea of leadership and confides in Barney. Riffle wants to do right by the town, so Barney suggests he try and talk it out with her, which is kind of a bold move considering the aforementioned sheriff shuffle. With some encouragement, Riffle informs Bossy Bop that they should be allowed to sing too. Bossy Bop, continuing with the spirit of the West, immediately challenges Riffle to a duel at high noon. In this instance, the duel is a literal screaming match between the two of them, with the loudest singer being the winner of the contest. This is the no-holds-barred kind of absurdity I love about the later seasons. Hey kids, consider holding a duel with your friends to resolve your problems. Despite the praise he receives from daring to stand up to Bossy Bop, Riffle's about to give up and go home. Through song, Barney instills in Riffle that all he should do is his best, and not to quit. This is kind of a subtle message, but I do like that they try and de-escalate the scale of the situation in Riffle's mind. He's overwhelmed with the prospect of convincing Bossy Bop being something he couldn't possibly do, but he can do his best and give the situation his all. I'm not sure if this moral gets across so overtly to the younger end of the target demographic, which is kind of hit or miss, but it's a great lesson for the older set. Noon rolls around, and so does Bossy Bop's dramatic death stare at Riffle. Much to everyone's surprise, Riffle refuses to accept the terms of their contest and informs her that singing loudly, of course, isn't what makes songs sound good, and he invites her to share a song with him. After all, songs sound better with a friend. Bossy Bop relents so long as he plays in a good key for her, fair, and the long-punished townspeople relish in the fact that she isn't attacking anyone and join in on their song. Bossy Bop learns that music is better with friends, and that aggressive vocal fry is not always the answer. Music is restored to the town, and back in modern day, Riff is heartened by his great-great-grandfather's determination, and he agrees to try his best as team captain. Season 12 has a lot of episodes with stylistic, on-location adventure-type themes to add interest, but I think Wild West Adventure probably has the best case for actually deserving that setting. We're watching Riff learn a lesson straight from his family's, and the other dinosaurs for that matter, story, and the whole going back in time bit only heightens that effect. Like I said before, certain aspects may be harder to follow for younger viewers, but otherwise, this is a really memorable take on the believe in yourself and always try your best moral story. I'm sure everyone could just sing at Riff and eventually get there, but Barney pulling an applicable story from Riff's past is enough to show him that standing up for yourself works, and so does giving your all for that matter. Whether you're in the Riffle is Riff truther camp or not, this Wild West adventure, and all of its lore implications, definitely earned its place as an iconic part of the Barney history canon. And as always, if you're looking to learn more, don't hesitate to check out my friends at Barney Wiki and Barney History Fans. Thanks for watching!